3 times in this aspect of my life where I was offended. And I was offended so much so that I took care of what I needed to take care of to be a good steward of this aspect of my life. So, first time I was offended. It was just before Halloween. There's this costume store that different people go to. Now, different people rob from this costume store in order to get Halloween costumes. And so it was happening so many times every year that eventually we finally figured out to do security checks on a regular basis, and that's what we would do. So in between one of the security checks, there were these people that went in to steal, to just shoplift from the Halloween store. And I'll tell you what their costumes were, because that's funny too. It's a little irony to it. Anyways, they went into the store, they stole all these different items from the store. They ran out. The police were called. They were actually fighting and wrestling with the lady, which turns it from any type of force, use of physical force that occurs during this, could turn it into a robbery. Just take note of that. So they're wrestling with one of the people, ended up fighting with one of the people, and it's like a few females, a few males. They're all young. Some are pretty much 18, 19, 20, and the others were about 16, 17. Anyways, all of them end up getting arrested because the parking lot is busy during the time of Halloween, during getting costumes. And they were getting their costumes kind of last minute. It was like the day before or the day of Halloween. It was the day of Halloween. So the parking lot was full. So it was hard for them to get out of the parking lot, which gave enough time for police officers to arrive. So the subjects were arrested. So they were arrested. Okay. Handcuffed. They were going to be taken to jail. Some of them were juveniles. Some of them were adults. And I bet you want to know, what did they steal? Well, the irony is they actually stole costumes of criminals, of inmates. Some was an inmate, another was a pimp, another was a prostitute. It was actually a jail suit, like the orange little convict thing with handcuffs. So they had fake handcuffs. We had real handcuffs. They got handcuffed with the real handcuffs, and the other stuff got taken back to the store. So while the people were in the car, this is where I get offended. While the people were in the car, their family shows up because they call them. And their family comes, they're like, hey, what are they getting arrested for? They don't do anything. They've never done anything. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I didn't tell them, but according to some of their records, they've done lots of stuff, lots of times. Now, the irony is, or not the irony, one funny point is one of the people that was in the car, because they all didn't make it to the getaway car. So one person was just in the car, and he was actually asleep the whole time. So he didn't even know they were going to rob this place. He was sleeping all throughout. So while everybody's getting handcuffed, he's like, why am I getting handcuffed? I didn't do anything. I was asleep. So he wasn't a part of the conspiracy. And so eventually he got cleared up. But he was actually, out of all of them, he was the one person that was a multiple time criminal. He's had a criminal record multiple times, more times than anyone else. And it was the criminal that did not go steal from the store to get criminal costumes for Halloween. Maybe because he was already his authentic self as a criminal. I don't know. No, that's a joke. It's a little cold. So, anyways, I'm the one of the arresting officers on scene, and I'm in my uniform. And one of the family members come, and they're like, free my person, let him go, blah, blah, blah. I was like, man, he's going to get a court date. It'll be fine. It's okay. Like, you don't have to stress. I'm letting you say goodbye to them. I'm letting you do all these things. And sometimes you shouldn't allow certain liberties. You should just hurry up and take them to jail. But I'm showing grace because it's some juveniles, and they've never gone through this. And most of them looked really scared and sad and all that stuff. And there was not going to be any trick-or-treating that night. So this lady, she gets mad at me. She starts cussing me out, all these things. And she says something so offensive to me. And it didn't hurt at the moment, but it's like one of those things that hurt later, that hurts you a little later when you think about it. So she said, well, that's why, she said something to the effect of, yeah, I don't care, blah, blah, blah. You are acting all fake and all that with your fat rolls. What? She called me fat? I've never been called fat ever. in my life, and I'm not trying to offend anybody who's out of shape. I've been out of shape, but I was never called fat. She called me fat, and she identified roles on my body. And at first I looked at her, and if I tell you whatever how she insulted me, she was 10 times what she was saying. Like, there were roles all over her. Like rows of rows or columns of rows. And I wanted to say that, and I couldn't say that. One, because I'm Christian. The other is because I don't want to get a complaint as a police officer, and I'm not that type of police officer. I'm a friendly cop until I'm not. But in that moment, she roasted me, and it didn't hit. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I wanted to leave immediately because I didn't want anyone else to see my roles. And then later on, I thought about it, like, did I let myself go? Am I fat? It was crazy. I was offended. So in this section of the right away reaction, we're going to talk about offense and how offense could be warranted. That in scripture, if you offend somebody or they offend you, there's some things you have to think about. You have to think about, okay, I've been offended. Maybe I have an ought with that person. Maybe how they offended me is not true, or maybe it is true. You need to determine, is it true or is it not true? And then you have to determine, are you mad only because they said it? Or are you mad because it's true? Or are you mad altogether, all around, because all of it, how it happened? But from there, that was hint number one, like, hey, you need to be a better steward of the physical aspect of your life, because it's starting to show. And why is it starting to show? Because I'm a grandfather. I have 3 kids, and now I have 2 grandkids. Although I'm a grandfather, I struggle. And contrary to what people believe, that because I'm a good parent and a good spouse and want to be a good worker, a good steward of my professional environment, and I want to serve the Lord, that sometimes I will cut short the physical fitness side of things. And that was a mistake on my end. I still need to be a good steward of all the aspects of my life. That is my job. There are 86,400 seconds in a day. Out of those 86,400 seconds, I could definitely take 30 minutes or an hour to work out, because I sure did take 3 hours to stream and watch stuff. That's the first part. That was the first offense.